Good morning, everybody. I'm so glad to have you here with me today. We are going to be talking about royalty. Do you guys know what royalty is? That's right. Kings and queens and princesses and princes. The first book I have for you is called Once Upon a Goat. A goat? That's exactly what I asked myself whenever I saw the cover of this book, too. What could possibly be royal about a goat? Well, let's jump in and see. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, a king and a queen wished for a child. Yes, but where would we put it? Asked the king. Next to the vase on the hearth, naturally, replied the queen. Or beside the roses in the garden, the king added. Oh, yes, perfect, agreed the queen. Are those good places to put a baby? One day, their fairy godmother stopped by for a visit. Tell me what you desire, she asks. Well, we'd like to start a family, said the king. We are not particular, said the queen. Glowing skin, bright eyes, and hair like ocean waves should do. Said the fairy godmother. A boy would be great, added the king, but any kid will do. Of course, answered their fairy godmother. Look on your doorstep when the moon is full. At the next full moon, the king and queen ran to the door. Let it be a boy, said the king. With hair like ocean waves, said the queen. As they peek outside, what do you think they find on their doorstep? Well, they definitely found a full moon, but on their doorstep, they found a goat. Ah! I wanted a baby, cried the queen. It's my fault, wailed the king. I said any kid would do, but I never meant this. What do you think they meant by any kid will do? If you said that the actual baby name for a goat is kid, you're correct. Just like there's cats and kittens, dogs and puppies, there are goats and kids. Fun little fact. Reluctantly, the king and queen brought the little beast into their home. Look on the bright side, said the king. We can still hold it like a baby. But it has a goatee, replied the queen. We won't need to change its diapers, said the queen. That's disgusting, said the king. At least it loves the royal roses, said the king. That's it. It has to go outside, commanded the queen. She was not happy about that goat eating her roses. I guess we're better off now, anyways, said the queen sadly. A stand had to be taken for the roses, replied the king. Of course, said the queen. They put him outside. Oh no, and that night it rained hard. It's not our fault we were given a goat, said the queen. Not our fault at all, added the king. And yet I wondered if we were right to send the little fellow away on such a blustery night. Hmm. The king and queen started to feel bad. Clearly he lacked the good sense to find shelter. I suppose he could come in just for a bit to dry off. He looks hungry too, said the king. Maybe he could share a nibble or two from our meal. Or maybe he could just enjoy the flowers they had at the table. It's late, and we could hardly send him away now, said the queen. He shall have to stay in our room for the night. It's only for the night, right? Said the king. One night turned into weeks, and weeks into months, and now there are smiles on their faces. Before long, their fairy godmother returned for a visit. How is everything? Wonderful, replied the king and queen. Perfect. May I see the child? You must be joking, said the fairy godmother. It's a goat. Um, you didn't mean to give us a goat? Yes, you left the goat on the doorstep when the moon was full, just like you said. Uh-oh, said the fairy godmother. I'll be back. She checks in on the goats. Uh-oh. What did she do? That's right, she's going to exchange the baby and the goat. This is for the best. Really. My sincere apologies for the misunderstanding. I'll just return the goat, and that will be that. But wait, said the queen. Perhaps there is an alternative, said the king. Yes, I see your point, said their fairy godmother. We don't want to lose the goat, and the baby doesn't want to lose his goats. So what do you think the alternative is? That's right. The goats are coming to stay. Well, said the king, not exactly the family we wished for. No, replied the queen. It's even better. The end. That was a cute book, right? So it teaches us a couple things. Goats are kids. Um, I bet it would be a fun pet, but I personally don't think I would want it as a child either. So in this next book I have, we're going to talk about the days of the week and different animals. And at the very end, I want to see if you can come up with the place that all of these animals came from. The answer is on the very last page of the book. So stay in and see if we can figure it out. This book is called May I Bring a Friend? The king and queen invited me to come and see their house on Sunday for tea. Oh, how fun. Have you ever had an invitation from a king and a queen? Me either. One day, though. Or maybe we could make our own tea party. So, in response, I told the queen and the king. No, I told the queen, and the queen told the king I had a friend I wanted to bring. The king told the queen, my dear, any friend of our friend is welcome here. So I brought my friend. And who do you think his friend is? A giraffe, yes. The king said, hello. He said, how do you do? And the queen said, well, it's fancy meeting you. My friend sat down right next to me. Then everyone had a cup of tea. The king and queen said, we are having stew on Monday for dinner, and we want you to come. I told the queen, and the queen told the king I had a friend I wanted to bring. The king told the queen, my dear, any friend of our friend is welcome here. So I brought my friend. And who do you think his friend is this time? Very good. It's a hippopotamus. My friend sat down next to the king, and when dinner was over, there wasn't a thing left to eat. It was so good they ate it all up. So the king and the queen sent me a card. Come on for lunch. We love to have you. It's Tuesday. Please try hard to come. So I sent a card. Dear Queen and King, I have a friend I want to bring. The king and queen sent me a letter. They said, the more friends you bring, the better. So I brought more friends. Who do you think they brought this time? Very good. Monkeys. The king said hello, and the queen gave me a kiss and said, what kind of monkey business is this? They hung from the roof. They sat on the floor. They ate and they ate till there wasn't any more to eat. Still sitting happily, the king and queen sent a man with a horn to ask me to come on Wednesday morn for breakfast. I told the man to tell the king I had a friend I'd like to bring. The king told the man, please tell my dear friend that his friend is welcome here. So I brought my friend. What friend do you think he brought this time? A beautiful elephant. The king said hello, and the queen said with a frown, I don't know where your friend could sit down. So instead, we sat on my friend. Please, said the king, and please, said the queen, come on Thursday for Halloween. And we want you to know, said the queen and the king, you can bring any friends you would like to bring. So I came and I brought my friends. Hello, said the king and queen. Now who could this be? Who did he bring with him today? That's right. The lions roared. But they knew who I was, of course. The queen said to me, do come on Friday. Yes, said the king. It is apple pie day. I said to the queen, will you tell the king I have a friend I want to bring? The queen told the king, who said, my dear, any friend of our friend is welcome here. So I brought my friend. Who do you think his friend was this time? A seal. The king said hello, and the queen said, wee! Let's hear you play. Oh, say, can you see? My friend played a song called Long Live Apple Pie. Then the king played for a while, and so did I. The king and queen invited me to come on Saturday for tea. But this time I said, no, no. My friends want you instead to come and visit them, I said. So that is why the king and queen and I all were seen on Saturday at 2:30 having tea at the. So, where do you think all of his friends are from? At the city zoo. The end. How many of you guys guessed where all of his friends were from? That's fantastic. So, I have one more book that I'm just going to kind of talk about with you. I feel like some of you may already know the story. Um, it's going to deal with the activity I have for you guys. It is called Cinderella. So, this book is actually rather long. So, I'm not going to get into it. I definitely want to recommend it. There are, again, a lot of different versions of it. And they all end up with a young girl who has two stepsisters that are not very nice to her, and all she wants to do is go to the ball. She wants to see the prince. She doesn't feel like she can go see the prince, and she gets a fairy godmother, and her fairy godmother ends up turning a pumpkin into a carriage for her. If you want to know the rest of the book, you'll have to read it to find out the end, but that's the part that I want to talk about for our activity. You guys to make out of recycled materials a carriage for her to go to the ball in. So as you can see, I used some dowel rods and I cut up some cups for wheels. Of course, I used some lace. This is actually a strawberry container. I don't know if you can tell, but you could use a shoebox or another kind of container. And I put this on top for them to sit inside. It does actually work. It zooms right on by. And the sheet that I have to go with that is Cinderella's Carriage. So the challenge is you need to design a carriage out of recycled materials that is able to move down a ramp. Then record how far the carriage travels once it stops or falls over. This is the place for you to record the materials you use. This is where you make your plan. And this is where you have your test runs. You can test up to 3 times, make some alterations to see if you can make it go further, and then you'll have your final run. And this is where you'll want to record what you may have changed to make it better, faster, stronger, and things that you noticed. So, those are all going to be available on our website for you to either print yourself or you can come in and get a copy at the library. I would love to hear your results. So if you want to bring them in for me or share them on Facebook with me, I would absolutely love to see it. I had a great time today and I can't wait to see you till next week. All right, bye.